Welcome back to Let's Laugh About It, the not-so-serious business podcast powered by D2CX. I'm Zoe Kahn, and I'm here to celebrate our wins, vent about our challenges, and bring the D2C and e-commerce community together. Welcome back to Let's Laugh About It. Today we have a special guest, Rohit from Caraway. I'm really excited. He's another CX leader, so we're going to hear about his story, how he got to where he is, and his laughable moment. So, Ro, tell the listeners a little bit about you.
Yeah, of course. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I've known Zoe for probably good 2 months now, so it's nice. I've finally been getting to meet people here in Arizona. But yeah, I'm at Caraway. I work on their CX team. I'm on their automation side, so we do everything with the knowledge and training team. So whenever customers have questions about our products, we want to make sure our customer support agents have the answer to those questions. So we do a lot of stuff with knowledge-based training. So I've been there for about a year, and I also have a YouTube channel, which is completely different from CX. I spent a lot of time making videos about Apple products, but yeah, that's kind of kept me busy in the last 4 years. I started it when I was in college, but it's nice being here with everyone in the CX space. I know we've gone to a few different networking events, so it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm very, very thankful to anyone who comes to the networking events in Arizona, because Rose heard this a million times, so he's just gonna have to hear it again. But I moved to Arizona, and I don't know, 6 months went by, and I'm like, why isn't anyone inviting me to anything? Because in San Diego, you're constantly getting invited to this e-commerce event, and you kind of are like, wow, there's way too much going on. And I thought Arizona might be the same, because I don't know, a lot of people are in Scottsdale and Phoenix, and after a year of being wow, there's not too much going on, and I maybe heard about things, and so I just took it upon myself to just scour LinkedIn and find people and ask my tech partners, do you know anybody? If I'm begging for one single friend that works in CX. So now we do the events in Arizona, and Ro came to them, and it's just so good to meet people who are in the same work environment. So it has been nice. So thank you for joining.
Of course.
And but before, if you want to talk about it, before Caraway, you were in tech, right? Did that actually help you with the automation side, or is it completely different? Or what was it before Caraway?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I was at Postscript, which is an SMS marketing platform, but we were on the sales side. So I didn't really get to work a lot with automation, but I got to meet with people who were on the team. And it's something I thought about, but I never thought I'd be in that shoe, because it was such a different role than what I was doing. And for context, basically what it was that I was doing was at Postscript, I was basically just messaging all the customers that came in through text message, and we would interact with them. So it
customers the brands using Postscript, or the
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So everyone that was using Postscript's SMS sales. So a lot of e-commerce brands, D2C companies, we'd communicate with their customers, give them discount codes, and then whenever they'd be ready to check out, we would earn the commission based on that sale.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, definitely did not have a lot of automation experience, but I'd say Postscript really set me up to learn about Caraway, because if it wasn't for Postscript, I literally would not be at Caraway today.
Cool. I'm a Postscript fan, by the way. I use, and everyone on their team is really great. And I also I had a really good win with Postscript, and sometimes I'm very upfront about the way it happened, because I got into SMS marketing when it was still kind of scary for some brands, because it feels like a very intimate channel.
For sure.
Asking a customer for their phone number felt I don't know, I don't want to ask them for their phone number. That seems intrusive. So I was working at Chomps, and it was really, really important to them that the SMS program didn't feel like scammy or whatever. And so I had a lot of fun like campaigns where, because our SMS list at the time was so small, I could do fun things where I could just send out a bunch of SMS to, because you have to charge per message, or they charge you per message. So a smaller list is, it's easier to do fun things when you have a smaller list. But I would send like selfies of me with like a Chomp stick and be like, hey guys, like it's Zoe here from Chomps, like go get your Chomps, they're on sale right now.
Yep.
And I would also do little campaigns where I had people, so then we found out that the SMS performed really well. And so in that people, they're giving you their phone number. You don't have to worry about like whatever. So then I did fun campaigns like sign up for our SMS program and do this challenge. And I would do these challenges because our number one subscription reason for cancellation was I have too many. And so I was trying to get people to eat it more often. And so I started these challenges where I would say, in the next month, I'm going to send out random text messages. And if you can send me a picture of you and your Chomps, then I'll add points to your loyalty. And so I got hundreds of like I would send these random texts out and people would be like, I got my Chomps, whatever. Or like, I have them with me. And it was a really successful campaign. It built our SMS list. It got people to be actually like carry Chomps around with them, reminded them, like reduced our subscription churn rate. And, but yeah, so I love Postscript for all of those fun things. So Postscript fan.
It was a lot of fun, and it's so much fun being able to just message customers, because you can make it as customizable as you want. Yeah. And that's what like customers are going to remember is having like that one-on-one personalized experience. So. And
then into automation, which is
exactly
can be the opposite, but you can take that. Like, I think that's what people are afraid of with automation, is it feeling like a robot. How do you take it? Do you experience that or like think about that when you're creating automations?
Sometimes you can especially tell like I don't know if anyone who's listening here has ever experienced it, but like if you're talking to customer support, like you can usually tell if it's AI generated or if it's been like ChatGPT'd. But yeah, like we try to just like spend a lot of time just making it, or just like trying to push our agents to just try to make it as, you know, customizable as possible. Like use these automation, all these generated answers that it's able to produce, but like use it as like a reference. Don't just rely on it entirely, because otherwise customers are not really going to have that one-on-one experience. Yeah. When they're actually like talking to all the agents.
Yeah, it's challenging to find that. Do you guys do onshore or offshore support, or both?
I'm not sure what that.
Okay, do they live in the U.S.?
No, they don't.
Okay,
it's BPO, so it's all over
offshore,
the world.
yeah.
Offshore, yeah.
Okay, so you use offshore support, and
yes.
A lot of times with offshore support, it's a lot of the BPOs are like sometimes they work for companies where they only care about like speed. And so it's sometimes you have to train the agents like, no, like slow down. This is for reference but you have like customize it. If someone says like their dog died, say sorry, you know?
No, it's literally like always the smallest things, because that's what customers are going to remember. And like, if you're just like, you know, just like answering their question and you're not giving them a solution, like if someone's like fry pan is cracked, it's like, you know, at least like try to acknowledge it. Don't just say like, okay, here's a replacement.
Yeah. So, no, I completely agree. It's a challenge. And one of the things too, I try to remember, because I don't know if you've been in the weeds of the tickets as far as like, have you been like, I need to answer the customers, or have you always been kind of in the like other side of it?
So I've been kind of behind it, like not necessarily interacting with the customers, but last year, like during BFCM, I got to do a little bit of QA. So I like really got to like dial in on like what these agents were saying, you know, like what kind of things were they missing in these questions. And like being on like the knowledge base side, like I see a lot of things about product knowledge, warranty, troubleshooting, all that stuff. So usually like I kind of know like what the answer to like a question is, but it's interesting when you see it from like the perspective of like an agent, because it's so easy to pull this information up, but like they're not spending like 24/7 on on like this knowledge based platform. So I guess like when I'm working on that side, a lot of it is just like naturally absorbed, but I understand like for them to like teach them all that stuff, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah. And I actually started as a support agent. That's how I like learned about e-commerce.
Nice.
And I remember how it felt to be like in the tickets all day, where it's almost like paralyzing. You're like, it's like, okay, this ticket's done, next one, this ticket, next one. And it's like exhausting. So I had like try to remember that and know that there's like, you need breaks and you want to like work on, I like to like bucket things into different things. So it's like, okay, if I am my brain is so dead from dealing with this angry customer, but I could go help people fix their loyalty program points or whatever, and that uses less brain power. I can go do that. Then I'll go back to the angry customers. But people will just like read over things that are important, and it's easy to miss, but it's important not to. So very interesting. And the support's not easy. It's just not.
100%. Yeah. It takes like, especially during BFCM, that's the busiest period. And like, we kind of just like need like all hands on deck. So I'd say like pretty much from like January up until like BFCM, it's just, making sure everyone's trained and making sure we have all the resources we need. It does take a lot of work, but it's really nice when you get to see like the results that like all the effort that they're putting into the conversations. Yeah.
And then for the listeners, if you're not in e-commerce, if you are in e-commerce, or sometimes, I don't know, maybe you don't know this, but BFCM is Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So it's the craziest time of the year, and nobody in e-commerce gets a fun Thanksgiving because you're just like freaking out about BFCM.
That's true.
So I wanted to actually ask about your YouTube channel.
Yes.
This is kind of random. Sorry, listeners, but I'm very interested. So this is selfish. So because I post YouTube videos, and for the listeners, you might know, but I do CX journey YouTube videos, and I'll do a bunch of stuff. So I'm always picking Ro's brain about like what's the key. He has over 100,000 followers on his YouTube channel. I always accidentally, I'm always like brag about him. I'm like, he has 1 million followers. He's like, no, I have 100,000.
Not there yet.
Not there yet. But how did you get into your YouTube channel?
Yeah, it was honestly like, it was just like a lot of passion that I basically had for like old technology. So I basically make videos about old Apple products. I do reviews, unboxings, but like the thing is like, I basically noticed that like there weren't a lot of people making videos about like all the retro stuff out there. It was all of like the newest iPhone or like the newest tech. And so I decided to kind of do the opposite, because this was kind of like a niche that like no one was really like filling in. So I started this during pandemic time, like 2021. It was a passion project, bought some phones off of like Facebook Marketplace, made my first video. But like, I think the thing that like really worked for me is like, I didn't really go into it with like the expectation that it was going to like blow up one day. And I like kind of encourage you guys with that as well. It's like, if you ever have like some kind of passion project that you want to pursue, it's like, do it out of passion, but like don't always expect that it's going to drive a lot of numbers, because like having that expectation can like kind of make it feel like a job. Yeah. And like I've definitely had those moments before, but I'd say consistency has been the most important thing with my channel. Yeah,
I had a podcast before this, and I experienced that too, where it was like, I just want to do this for fun. I don't care if someone listens or not. And then all of a sudden it was like, people are like listening and they want to be guests, and they're like, people are offering to sponsor it. I'm like, whoa. Like, I don't even know what all of that is, but like, it's so cool. But I think that the best projects and businesses come out of passion. So that's really, really cool. I had, have you done a video on the original iPod Shuffle?
iPod Shuffle? No. Oh, actually, I think I have, but like so here's like another example. Like that video did not do well. It probably has like 5,000 views, but I still have it, and I love it because it was something I'm passionate about.
5,000 views for me, it's like that's the best video. He's like, no, I'm just kidding. But, I had the original iPod Shuffle, like USB stick looking one.
Yes,
you know?
the one that wraps around.
No, it's like it literally is it looks like a USB stick. It was white.
That one, yeah.
The long one.
That one, yeah.
Wait, maybe wraps around? What do you mean?
I think it also comes with a lanyard too, so
maybe.
you can wear it around. But
yeah.
that's so
I
cool.
won it at, I think I'm a little older than you, but it was a 6th grade, like, prize for some talent show or something. And I won it. I was like, I never win anything. I was in 6th grade and I won that thing and I thought it was so cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's like imagine like bringing that to school. It's like showing it off. Like a lot of people would think that's cool.
And I wish that the ones with the little the iPad, like thinking back to all of the iPod shuffles and that you had like a device for your music separate from your phone. Yeah. Like it is a cool nostalgic thing.
It really is. Like carrying around 2 different things back in the day was a really big deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now, like, I mean, this thing, like this phone here can hold like terabytes of storage, which is insane.
My other Apple thing is I actually, I used to caddy. That was one of my first nice. Jobs, legit jobs. I wanted money to do things or buy things. And so I was waiting till I turned 13 years old so that I could do this caddy test. And when you turn 13, you can do the little caddy test and you could go out and caddy and you got paid by tips. And I saved up all of my caddy money for one summer and I bought an iPod Touch. And again, I was like, this thing is magic.
It was like the best thing to own as like a teenager.
Yeah,
it was huge.
It was so cool. So those are my little iPad things or Apple things that I'm like, that's nostalgic and it's so cool to see that you have content around it. But so your laughable moment, I want to make sure that we get to that too. Before you had this channel, or do you have other channels or you had them before? Or?
So I did. I've had many channels I've sort of made in the past, and like a lot of people don't know about this, but so I'll kind of backtrack to when I was like 12, 13-year-old. So I used to have just like a regular channel under my name, whatever, just like used to make like a lot of tech content. But then when I was in college, I decided to make a channel called 6 Topics, and this channel would literally like stalk random celebrities, and I would just like make videos about 6 random facts about them, which was like really, really weird. I know it's like super niche, but it just like, it was not sustainable because like at some point, like I was making videos about people who had like a lot of drama and stuff, and like a lot of their fans like to watch that kind of stuff. But at some point, like I just ran out of my passion. And I realized I was like, this is probably it. I mean, because like at this point, like I have no motivation to make any more videos. And
did they do well?
A few of them did. A few of them had over like 1 million views.
Wow.
But like the channel did not do that. Like I think it has 20,000 subscribers and it still exists.
I'm gonna go look at this. Wait, what's an example of a celebrity that you did, like that you remember?
So a lot of these were like YouTube influencers.
Okay.
Like Ace Family. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
No, I don't know. I'm sure Jackie would know.
Yes.
Jackie knows all the pop culture things.
Yeah. But like there's obviously like a lot of drama going on. So I was like, yeah, it feels weird having these videos up like 5-6 years later. So I'm gonna private all of them.
Before he privates them all, go watch them.
No, they're still out there. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun, but like after that passion project died for me, I was like, damn, like this is it. Like I'm never going to be able to make another YouTube channel like this again until like, of course, I got the passion again. But like it kind of killed like my confidence a little bit because like I was like, this is probably never going to happen again. And like I used to just like stare at the wall and like think like it would be so cool to have like a silver play button just like sitting there, but I didn't really think like that would ever be possible. But if you put your like dream and passion into a project, it's definitely possible.
Wait, the silver platter comes when you get 1 million, or is it 100,000? Or wait, when is it?
100,000.
So you got one?
I did, yes.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing.
Gold is the one that comes at 1 million.
Wow. Okay, so hopefully I'm rooting for the gold one for you too. But that is so cool. I don't know if I've ever talked about this actually, but so I've had lots of YouTube channels. There's one out there that still exists. That's my gaming one that maybe I'll bring back.
Twitch.
so I was on Twitch, but then I would
Yes.
post my Twitch clips and like either sometimes I would just post my entire Twitch video that would be like 4 to 8 hours long on YouTube. And those are like floating around there. But then I would also have some just like highlights of streams out there. I did a lot of charity streams. So I would like do highlights from my charity streams, and they're all floating around. But before that, there's a hidden YouTube that I used to compete in bodybuilding, in bikini bodybuilding, and I would vlog my prep. So
That's cool.
It was those ones though I had to like get rid of on the internet because it was so like I was just so awkward, and I think my first video was actually filmed like vertical, but I posted it like landscape, so the whole video is like as if it's like a short or like a short form clip but in the long
vertical,
form. Like it's so embarrassing. But I think all of those things, I was so scared to post, and I always told myself it doesn't have to be perfect to get it out there. And I think all of the practice, like my YouTube channel doesn't have, I think we have almost like over 1,000 subscribers, like nothing close to what you have, but I get a lot of I think we help a lot of people, because that's the other thing is when you post content that you're passionate about, like helping someone in a niche, if that niche is small, but you have like 100 people from that niche watching your things, that's like, I always think of a room full of 100 people. If you're standing in front of 100 people and talking to them, that's a lot of people, right? So like when I get only 40 views on something, I just think about 40 people standing in front of me and being like, wow, that's actually a lot of people. And so my goal is always to just like provide knowledge or inspire. If I could help one person by putting something out there, I think it's a win. And it's cool to like see like you go through similar struggles, because I remember after my bikini bodybuilding one, I felt the same way. I'm like, oh, I don't have it in me. And I don't I don't want to do it again because I felt so discouraged. Yeah. But then you find different passions, and if you want to do it, you do it.
I love that. Yeah. And like to like go back to your point about like just making really like passion driven content. Like I've also noticed too, like with a lot of my videos, like I like interacting with all the comments too, because like it kind of reminds me of like my job as well in CX. It's like one bad comment can like make a really big difference. But like if you're able to help like that one subscriber with whatever they need help with, I don't know if it's like troubleshooting or something, but it definitely goes a long way, and they'll remember it.
Speaking of using CX experience for other things, I actually have I don't know if I'm like ready to announce it. I'm going to announce it kind of not like dramatically big, but I'm kind of waiting for when the time feels right. But I've already sneak peeked that I'm going to come back to Twitch, which I'm really excited for. Nice. But I have a new client that I'm doing something different for, and it's around the gaming space, and I'm actually helping them build out their affiliate program and influencer, creator, like all of that. Yeah. Which is, if you know, I usually focus on like behind the scenes and CX and like behind the brand type things. But I have a lot of experience in the gaming world, in the influencer and the creator community for gaming because of my previous experience. That was also a passion. I would do my, at Ghost actually, I would do my normal like customer experience job, and then after work I would like hang out on Twitch and hang out with our community, and I kind of that was like what I did for fun, and it was amazing, and that's how I got into Twitch. But I have a new project, and it's to help build out this affiliate program, and I keep thinking about the experience because I am relating all of these like the onboarding of a new affiliate and how they're like they feel from like the day that they get onboarded to like a couple months later. Do they still feel connected with the brand and all these things? And I think that all of the customer experience parts really, really help cross-functionally. And like these affiliates are customers too. So I'm like, this is so cool to be able to take everything I've learned and also know how everything works, because I can take like knowledge from knowing how like the sales work and the coupon codes and the subscription program and how everything's, I'm using Klaviyo to send out email blasts to the different affiliates to like remind them or tell them how they can better perform and challenges and all that stuff. So customer experience really is so helpful for like whatever you want to do.
100%. And I was actually watching one of your podcasts yesterday. I think it was with Mark Wallace. And I remember like you made a really good point.
Oh wait, Max.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Max. Sorry, Max. But I was like, who's Mark? From Tommy John, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I think he was there for like 10 plus years.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. But I remember you mentioned about like whenever like a team outside of CX, let's say if it's like brand or like digital product, and they actually go to CX for advice, like it's a big deal, because like whenever you think about it, like CX is kind of like the backbone of many aspects of a business, because we know products inside out.
Mm-hmm.
We're like pretty much working with like our product team whenever we have a new launch going out, like all the go-to-market stuff. And so like I totally agree with you. It's like whenever you're like onboarding new like influencers and stuff, tapping in CX is so important, because they're going to be able to help you with like troubleshooting scenarios, with warranty scenarios. If anything comes up, like this is how you properly use a product. This is what you shouldn't do and like what you shouldn't show on camera. And so it can get very specific sometimes, but I think being on this side of CX has like kind of taught me that like a lot of the work you do is not just like support, but it goes beyond that. And
yeah.
Like whenever a team is able to tap you in, it's an amazing feeling.
One thing that I'm learning more too is, and I kind of always thought this from my experience at Ghost, because it was a very influencer. Like when I was there, we didn't run ads or even send emails, which is crazy to even think about that. Like, how did we, I don't know. We were so influencer based. And so in the customer support inbox, we would get so many influencer requests.
Yes.
So we would vet them and be like, is it a waste of time, or is it, like, could this be someone in our community, or is it someone who wants to be, like, can be an influencer, blah, blah, blah. So we would vet it. And when I talk to different brands, I ask them, okay, like, what's the process for when people reach out to customer support? And I'm always so surprised when people say, well, we don't really talk to them.
Yeah.
And like, wait, what? Like, you're probably missing out on so many. Like, I've seen like brands' most successful influencers come from someone who reached out in the inbox.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you're missing out on that. And then another one, the instance code that's forgot my coupon. And there wasn't, now there's a lot of good ways to fix this process, but I noticed a lot of the support team, and you can look at it in two different ways, where it's like, oh, the brand's saving money if a customer forgets their coupon code that should be attributed to an influencer. But if you're really trying to motivate your influencers and show the ROI behind influencers, you want to try to attribute as many sales as you can to them. So I noticed that a lot of customer support teams don't, if someone says, I forgot my coupon code and it's Rohit 20,
right, 30, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. They're like, no problem, give them the discount retroactively, but it never gets attributed to Ro. But in the influencer platforms, you can attribute the sales to those influencers, and a lot of the customer support teams aren't trained to do that.
It's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, isn't that, but that's why I'm like, everyone needs to talk to each other, because
that's really important, because as a creator myself, like I'm gonna be honest, like I don't get like a lot of visibility into whatever like the conversion rate is.
Yeah.
And it also kind of depends on the brand, like, if they're willing to share that kind of information, because like some of them are like really like low key, like they don't like to share anything. And this is also like another thing I'll stress. It's like running a YouTube channel, like just because like you don't have like a sponsorship, like doesn't mean that like you're not successful or anything.
Yeah.
Like it takes time. Like I remember I did my first sponsorship probably at like 25,000 subscribers. So it takes time like for everyone, but I remember you mentioning, I think you work with Gorgeous recently. So it's like a really good feeling, but like you also have to like make sure that like you're also vetting the brand as a creator yourself. Because like some brands can like kind of, take advantage of you, like contracts especially. Thankfully, like I haven't really had any like negative experiences, but like I've heard some horror stories of people having to like take videos down because like they're not getting paid by the brand. And so yeah, you just got to be a little careful.
Be careful out there. Yeah, on either end, because I've seen it on both ends. So like, yes. I think it's really helpful when creators understand the like money side of it for a brand, because on both sides, when I'm working with, let's say, Gorgeous, and we're doing a video and it's gonna pay X amount of money, sure. It's really important to me to like, when I think about, because I know how it is from a brand side, I want to try to make sure that I do a good enough job where I'm like returning like 2 times as much money that they're giving me, so that I can, they'll want to work with me again, you know, because if you don't, like a lot of creators don't understand that. And then they're like, well, I think I should get more money. And I'm like, well, if you think about it, it's a business, right? You know, you have to, it's a give and take. And so it's really important to me first of all, it's just like have genuine sponsorships, because authenticity is so important and people know if you're not authentic. And so I only work with brands that I like, or tech companies or whatever that I actually use. But then it's important to me to actually like show them it's worth it to work with you, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. 100% agree. I think like as a creator, you'll definitely have like a lot of those like one-offs with like those random brands that are willing to pay like a crazy amount of money, but it's like a very sketchy product. So you just got to be a little careful with those. Yeah.
And I also, for creators, a tip too, to show like your worth, it's not just your coupon code usage. So sometimes you have visibility into that, sometimes you don't. Yeah. But if you do a post or post content for a brand, there's a lot of things that you bring them outside of coupon code usage. And so I always encourage people, like, take screenshots of like a comment that someone said, wait, what was that? Or also just like, if somebody texts you and they say, hey, I saw this in your YouTube video, and so I got this, here's a picture of me with it. Like, take inventory of all that and send it to the sponsor, because they like need to know all of that stuff. And if you don't show them, they won't see it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like brands are going to be collaborating with you for a reason. So you just got to make sure you kind of return the favor.
Yeah.
Whenever possible.
100%. So, okay. So where do you see yourself with going with CX?
Yes.
I know a lot of times people don't, when you're little, you're not like, I want to be a CX leader when like, where do you see yourself going with CX? Do you want to stay in this, or did you have passions from like seeing different parts of e-commerce?
Yeah. I guess I'll start off by saying like, I love Caraway. I love my job. Amazing team. Shout out to Nancy. Shout out to my manager.
Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Caraway is amazing. I can definitely see myself there. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I didn't really know what CX was a year ago when I was at Postscript, but being in this space has kind of exposed me to, learn like a different part of the business. And the thing I love about my job is that I'm not just working in like automation and like knowledge-based management, but it's a lot of different things, right? Like today, like I was working with our retailers team. Some days I'll be working with our digital product team. And so I do get a lot of exposure into like different functions of the business, which I like really appreciate. But I can definitely see myself here for the foreseeable future. But like, I also say like, it's really hard to like estimate like where I'll be in 5 years from now, because 5 years from now, I wasn't even like living in the States. I'm originally from Canada. So I moved here like 3 years ago almost. So a lot can change in 5 years.
It is such a hard question. I'm also someone who, I don't know, like, I have random stints of like, well, would be cool. I'm going to go do that based on like, I don't know, something that walks through the door. And I like quit my job to game, and I like have done this, and I just really follow passion. So that question's always hard for me too. And I think that's why CX in general, what you were saying about you get exposed to so many different things. It's so fun because working with retail is, when you look at customer support or customer experience, you don't think wholesale retail, like, well, why would you be doing that? And I say this all the time, but I feel like I've learned e-commerce as a whole from the inbox, and like it's gold. Everything happens there.
Yeah. Inbox is really important. And like Nancy also stresses this a lot too, but it's like, try to learn everything you can from like whatever like customers are saying, help them out, but also like just like be like empathetic towards them, because if they're taking time out of their day to message you, then you can, do the same then like, like you can also like return the favor to them as well.
And bring up, I always encourage if you're in that role, experience or support, talk to other teams.
100%.
Because the other teams want to hear the feedback. And so many times I see the problem is it comes into support and then it dies there. Where like, let's say retail, for example, people keep reaching out and they're like, Trader Joe's, I keep going to Trader Joe's, but like, I thought you guys were in there before, but you're not anymore. And like the Trader Joe's or the retail team has no idea that this like feedback is happening, but like, they're so appreciative if they know, cause they're not getting that feedback directly, and you can learn so much. That's how I learned about retention and SMS and email and all of that, from like going to the team and being like, there's so many broken links in these emails. Like, how does this even work?
You'd be surprised. Like, even like sometimes whenever I get text messages, like things just expire. Like they don't even work anymore. Yeah. So it's like as a customer, like it's going to ruin the experience a little bit. But I guess like the most important thing is just being proactive. I guess like, keeping this information stored somewhere where you're kind of like checking it on like a regular cadence. But it's going to be different for everyone, but as long as you're just consistent and like not just in your work, but like even like with YouTube too, like consistency has helped me so much, and it's the most important. Yeah, it's so important. Okay, so I want to, because we've got two sides of, we've got CX and we've got YouTube. Do you have any tips for, if we have time, I want to do a tip for each side. Yes. For a CXer, if you had one tip for them, what would you say it would be? For a CXer, I'd say just try to really like learn the product that you sell, because at the end of the day, like that's what like customers are going to be using. And like if you can't talk about your product or, like talk about like how it's made or like how to troubleshoot and stuff like that, like it's going to look a little bad on the company. And like I'll also be honest, like it's going to take time. Like this isn't something you're going to learn in a day. But just be a little proactive, like make like a Google search from time to time, like research the company if you need to. So that's like on the CX side, but everything that's like on the YouTube side, I'd say like just be like consistent with your uploads. This is like completely different from like CX, but the thing that worked for me was uploading every single weekend. I would upload on like Saturdays because
same time too.
Same time. It was like 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard, because I used to live on the East Coast before. But yeah, just like very specific, and like obviously like every single video you make isn't gonna always blow up, but like as long as you're feeding something into the algorithm, then like I'm like pretty confident that like your videos will eventually pick up traction. But
what if you don't have one ready? Do you just post what you can, or do you skip?
So I would post one regardless, but it would be very like unpolished. But if you're able to, like obviously like try your best, but at the end of the day, it's not going to hurt your channel in the long run. So take your time if you need to, but you can post like a day later, like it's fine.
What's that? The perfection is the enemy of what is it? That whatever that phrase is, you guys know.
Yes.
But I think that was one of my things is I am a perfectionist, and I've talked to Ro about this is like sometimes I see my content and I'm just so particular and I just don't want to post it because it's not in my eyes perfect, but I just post it anyways because of that consistency. And I know that sometimes it's not perfect, but it's like the video that blows up or it helps someone. And so I always try to remember that where it's, it's if it's not exactly how you want it, it's still okay. And like you can get better as you go.
I guess like with time, you just got to keep working on it over and over again. But as long as you're just being consistent, then like it's going to make a difference in the long run.
And putting in reps helps too. Like
100%.
Being consistent helps with the practice. So
yeah,
I love that tip. Okay, Ro, where can people find you? Let's do first. What's your YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's youtube.com/iClassic. You guys can check it out. It's just like iClassic as in like iPhone. You guys can also find me on LinkedIn at Rohit Saini.
We'll put that in the show notes and everything, and maybe we can help Ro get to his gold.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, so everyone go subscribe to his YouTube. So send me a picture of you and your silver plate.
Oh, I got you.
We'll put it in the thing because that's really I would die if I had one of those. Like I think I would die.
I'll definitely send that over. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for letting me do this. It was a lot of fun.
So thank you, Ro, for coming on. For the viewers or the listeners, we'll catch you next week. And don't forget to do all the things like comment, subscribe, send it to your friends, send it to your mom, your grandma, your grandpas, all those things. And we'll catch you next week. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and catch us in the next episode. And thank you for listening.